Hey folks, Dan Monroe here from the Magnetic Lock. In light of all these recent heritage auctions containing authentic B9 robot parts, I've been getting a lot of questions about, hey, wherever the hero robot is, what is actually really still authentic on him and what isn't? And it's a great question, so I thought I'd just take a second and maybe go through the facts of what we know and what we don't know about what is real and what isn't on what's left of the actual hero robot that was on the show. When I met Kevin for the first time in Boston 1990 and for the 25th anniversary reunion, he was very forthcoming about the robot and what was real and what wasn't at the time. He had told me that the legs were real, but the tread section was not. I'm not sure why. I mean, clearly the tread sections existed and could have been restored, but for whatever reason, the feet were rebuilt by Greg Jean. So starting from the top down, from the bubble, the original bubble that was in the show that was on the hero robot was unfortunately broken and destroyed in an earthquake, according to Kevin Burns. As far as the brain is concerned, I had assumed at the time that the brain inside that was authentic, but apparently it wasn't. The Heritage auction has the authentic robot brain, and we know that it's authentic because it's spray painted white. After the cancellation of Lost in Space, the robot was rented to another production called Mystery Island, where the entire robot was spray painted white, including the brain. And the brain that's currently being auctioned is white. So Kevin had pulled the original brain out when he had Greg Jean restore it in 1990 and put in a replacement brain for whatever reason. Obviously, all of the detail on the chest section had to be completely redone because it was just wiped out from the Mystery Island alterations. Interesting side note, I actually own the Mystery Island chest plate, which is what replaced the B9 chest plate for Mystery Island, and it was on that robot for years. That's the chest plate that Kevin saw when they unboxed it for the first time, and he said it looked like a refrigerator with claws.
You know, studio prop guys opened these big airline shipping cases, and the robot then looked totally different. It looked like a refrigerator with claws.
I do believe that the radar section and collar are authentic, and they are still on the original hero robot, wherever that is. As far as the torso goes, that's a really good question. Prior to Kevin selling the hero B9 to the gentleman who currently owns it, he actually put it on eBay for a brief time, and there were a lot of pictures of it, and I was able to snag those pictures. In 2016, there was a convention called Alien Con, and Mark Goddard was there, and Kevin Burns was there, and so was the original hero B9. I've been doing a lot of comparisons between the hero robot in 1990 and again the hero robot in 2016, and I'm pretty convinced that the torso is authentic. Originally, when the show started, the robot's neon mouth had many more neon tubes, and that mouth was broken. We see the replacement neon, and you can see if you look close that the neon is crooked, like it was just kind of shoved in there real quick. That's the neon that stayed through all of Season 1, the remainder, Season 2, and Season 3. And we know that that neon is not in the hero robot anymore because it was recently auctioned off. As far as the legs are concerned, the legs in 1990 Boston were absolutely the correct legs. They looked right. They had the exact same slope and characteristics of the robot's legs as it appeared in the last season of Lost in Space. I'm really not convinced that the legs are still authentic. Looking at the photos from 2016 Alien Con in comparison to the photos of the hero robot in Boston in 1990, in my opinion, these are not the same set of legs. I understand rubber is rubber and it can change form, but the seam down the middle seems completely different. Obviously, there was a lot of repainting going on, but in my opinion, these are not the original legs. I know for a fact that the tread section that is currently being auctioned off by Heritage is absolutely original. Absolutely. When the robot was sent over for Mystery Island alterations, I believe, it's a theory of mine, that they painted the whole robot white and then eventually decided not to use the treads. They put a more of a cylindrical base on it, but that's why the tread section is currently white. And I have several photos from Greg Jean's storage lockers in the 80s where you can see in the background these same original treads, and they're white. So looking at the Hero today with whoever owns it at the moment, looking at what's original and what's not, I would have to say the radar section is still original, the collar is still original, the torso is original, the legs, I really don't know. I mean, in lieu of all these auctions where all these authentic robot pieces are suddenly being put up for sale, if I was the guy who bought the Hero, it would certainly make me go, At any rate, I thought this was an interesting conversation to have, and I hope you guys found it interesting. And as always, thanks for your support and liking the stuff on the page, and more robot stuff to come. Catch you later.